I'm going to go over the oscillator mode square, and I am again starting out on an initialized EXI patch, going to common. I'm going to change it over to mod 7. And I'm going to do my basic initialization process where I just put the amp on an organ envelope, and then the oscillators I take off their individual envelopes that would be controlling their individual volumes. So for oscillator 1, I'm going to choose a square. And then for oscillator 2 and 3, I'm going to use sine waves, but I'm going to patch oscillator 3 into oscillator 2 to frequency modulate it. So oscillator 1 is square wave, and that's the only thing going to the output. And you can hear it sounds like a square wave. But I'm going to want to pass this through filter A, and then go to the output. And then for this one, I'm going to want to go straight to the output. But I'm going to take off oscillator 2 for now in my tone adjust. I'm just turning it off. So we're still only just hearing the first oscillator going through the filter, going to the output. Going to the filter, I'm going to change it to a 4-pole. Since the filter is wide open, we still just hear a square wave. And now I want to switch and turn on oscillator 2 and turn off oscillator 1, which is our sine wave that's getting frequency modulated. And I'm going to go into oscillator 1, actually oscillator 2, and I'm going to turn it down. Oh, sorry, that's the input level. Turn down the output, which should just sound like a sine wave. Oh, sorry, oscillator 2. I want to go to oscillator 3, turn that down, and now we just hear a sine wave. Okay, so what I'm trying to do, I've kind of just been going along without really explaining. I'm going to recreate the way oscillator 1 sounds with just using FM synthesis. If you take the ratio difference between the modulator and the carrier, if the modulator is 2 and the carrier is 1, then we get an odd harmonic series. And I'll show what that looks like. I'm gonna have to do some video editing where I record Cubase, since this recording software can only record one program at a time. I'll record Cubase and show the waveforms, showing that I'm making an odd harmonic series. I could show you in a spectrum analyzer, but I think it'll actually just be more apparent by showing you an oscilloscope. So anyway, we have a modulator on 2. We have the carrier on a ratio of 1. But the modulator is not turned up at all, so we're still just hearing a sine wave. And if we turn that up, and I'm going to want it all the way up. Let's see. Let me reference my notes real fast. Yeah, actually, don't want it that high at all. Yeah. So there's only a bit of a subtle difference there. That's the way it sounds. So now I'm going to turn off oscillator 2 and turn on oscillator 1 again. I'm going to go to the filter. I'm going to take the filter down. So this is oscillator 1 going through a 4-pole, 24 dB low pass filter. I'm hitting a G3. And then this is oscillator 2 being FM'd by oscillator 3 at an intensity of 18. They sound very similar. So again, flipping to oscillator 1, oscillator 2. Yeah, so they sound pretty much alike. If we listen to them both at the same time, we can hear that there's enough of a difference where we're not getting any kind of phase cancellation. But just to show you, go to the output mixer, flip the phase. So we're getting phase interaction, of course, but we're not getting much cancellation, showing that the waveforms aren't exactly the same. So that's the end of this. I'll add on a little, maybe a portion at the end showing the actual waveforms. And yeah, that's just to show you that you can kind of create a filtered square wave sound with just FM synthesis. It's pretty nifty. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. The next video will be on probably the wave shaper, and then I'll tackle ring modulation in like the next 2 videos after that. Yeah, unfortunately, since Windows can only seem to use 1 audio driver per program, I couldn't use Cubase at the same time as recording a video, so I just took screenshots of the oscilloscope with the 2 different waveforms. So here is the waveform created with FM synthesis using the sine wave that's an octave higher than the carrier. And the way that sounds again, it's like this. And then this is the filtered square wave filtered through a 24 dB low pass filter. And so just switching between the back and forth on screen, you can see just how similar they are. So yep, that's all for this one.